Hi everyone, welcome to this edition of the Broadcast, where we give you bite-sized bits of best practices to help you be a better leader and a more effective communicator. I'm your host, Jarrett Bro. Each week on the Broadcast, we ask a discussion question. Earlier this week, we asked this question: which is more important in a media interview, emotion or details? You gave us some interesting observations, a mix of each. Let's see what you think. Mark says proper details delivered with conviction. Mark says, though, unfortunately, there is no universal scale for measuring it. Interesting, Mark. Joe says, it depends. Joe says, if it's about a tragic storm, then emotion should drive the story. Or he says, if the story and your spokesperson are talking about government issues, maybe facts are more important. Let me give some thought to that. Monica says it depends on the type of interview and that an authentic combination of both would be best in her opinion. And Lana says you have to care about your subject. Lana says details are important, but people remember how you make them feel, and she notes it's hard to fake that. All right, so here's where I weigh in on this. I'm going to come to you first as a journalist and then as my current role as a media trainer. As a journalist, I'm writing with an inverted pyramid. There's going to be a headline, there's going to be a lead sentence, then there's going to be a quote. The lead sentence is a synopsis. When you're talking in media interviews, make sure you deliver a sentence that's the beginning of your answer that will create that synopsis. What's the story about in essence? But when I got down to writing the story, the quotes were more emotional than they were factual. To Lana's point, make the audience love the event. Make the audience feel connected to the event. Tell us why it's important, not the details of the process. Too many people do media interviews where they talk process. What's most important to the audience? They want an emotional charge. They want an endorphin release. One final thought. Let's think about how you read news, whether you read still in print or whether you read online. You generally read a headline, you'll read the lead paragraph, you'll read the quote, and then you'll think to yourself, I know enough about this, I'm not going to read anymore, which means you don't care about details. And facts are details. People care about the essence of the story, and they care about the emotion of the story. So make sure when you're preparing for a media interview that someone writes some really good emotional statements. Yeah, you got to back it up with a little bit of facts. But emotions, ding, 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 drive the story every time. I hope that helps you. If you disagree, you're welcome to contact me afterwards. You can always get hold of us here on the Broadcast YouTube channel. You can even comment on this video right now. You can tweet back at me at gbro, and you can connect with me on LinkedIn. If you want to know more, find me in one of those places and we can have a personal conversation. Well, that's it for the Broadcast this week. We will be back next week with a new discussion question. For the Broadcast, I'm Jarrett Bro.